So I've been replaying the Assassin's Creed franchise from the beginning, and I just finished Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Now, before I get into the pros and cons, as I do in all these videos, admittedly, these games are going to get longer from here on out, so the pros and cons are probably going to be much longer, or the videos will probably be much longer. Just also want a preference, spoiler incoming. There might be some spoilers because I'm talking about the entire game. So with that out of the way, let's get to the cons first. Now, before I start off on the cons, I want to mention something that I didn't realize, so I put it up there. I almost beat every naval mission before I realized I could upgrade the Aquila. That is the pinnacle of a facepalm moment. I could not understand why these missions were so difficult. Because I didn't upgrade the vehicle. Entirely my fault. I should have upgraded the ship. But let's go to the cons. So the combat can be much more challenging, particularly in the counter window. This is really only in like the first couple sequences, because once you get the combat down, it's a breeze. But if you're coming right off of Revelations, it feels challenging. But once you catch, how the combat is, it's great. But when you do that immediately jump from Revelations to this, you feel the combat window, counter window, is very different. I don't usually mention this, but the remaster that I played had several glitches. Did not affect my overall, enjoyment, but as someone who doesn't interact a whole lot of glitches, this game was glitchy as all get out. Now, I don't care. I look past glitches, but I feel like I want to mention that because I know some people that bothers them more. The notoriety system. When you get three wanted levels, it's downright ridiculous. Enemies will continue to spawn randomly out of nowhere. Yeah, there was a moment where I was in a fight for 30 minutes. Either a fight here, I run away, a fight here, or run away, a fight here, for almost 30 minutes. It was infuriating, which means don't let your wanted level get super high. That'll fix that problem. The Paul Revere ride, while cool historically, became extremely frustrating. And it's mainly because he has very few lines, and he repeats those lines over and over and over. And it would be even worse if you have a designated button that you could ask for directions. So if you keep hitting that, you're going to hear it even more. I pressed that button as minimal as I could. It was extremely frustrating. Crossing the battlefield at Bunker Hill. First off, this is from the trailer. This is supposed to be that really awesome moment. It's a dreadful objective. It makes no sense. It for me, kind of ruined a cool moment. That should have been an awesome action set piece moment. And I think it ruined it for me. But with that out of the way, let's go on with the pros. The first pro is the introduction to Haytham Kenway is great. Such an entertaining character. That is the truest thing I've probably put in my pros. Haytham Kenway is probably the coolest character in the entire game. I know a lot of people don't love for like the first four sequences you're playing as Haytham, but I enjoyed every minute playing as him. His character was always fun. His charming wittiness made you a little bummed out when you realized that he was a Templar. But I could honestly see why some people will join the Templars if Haytham was their mentor. So Haytham Kenway is an awesome character, and I think his introduction was phenomenal. Boston is a great location. Now, this is because I'm a big history guy, as you'll see in the next one. We'll just connect it. As a big history guy, meeting all these American historical figures was always exciting. So that combination with Boston. So I love history, and particularly that time of the American Revolution. Being able to visit places like Boston, which, look, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have like these skyscraper buildings you're going to climb or some massive leap of faith. But, I do think running on the rooftops is pretty fun. But the city as a whole just feels so lively, and it feels great to be around. And all of the historical figures, Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, we get to deal with Paul Revere, George Washington. Like, these are the highlights of the game. Maybe not necessarily the Paul Revere part, but there's some very much highlights. Anytime we got to interact with a historical character, my history mind just went bang. Loved every minute of it. The animations in combat are incredible. They are. Particularly when you do the double counters, it's like you're watching an awesome action scene in a movie. Connor, the way his animations work out and the way he moves, so ruthless, so efficient, so like effective. I loved every minute of the combat when it came to the animations and the executions you can pull off. The main character Connor gets a lot of flack for not being the most interesting character in the franchise, and I kind of disagree with that. Um, he's much more interesting than he gets credit for, particularly the homestead missions, which I absolutely loved. Are a requirement, in my opinion, to really understand and see Connor's personality shining through. This is what I mean. If you just did the main story, I don't agree, but I can kind of see why uh, you don't love the personality of Connor. He's very naive. He's very brash, um, but he is exposed to this new world basically. But when you see the underlying personality with all these homestead missions, I think that makes him a better character overall. If you really want to see the personality of Connor, I recommend doing the homestead mission. Your mentor, the old man on the hill, Achilles, he ended up as a great character. He might have been a little brash as well when you first interact with him, but seeing the development of him and Connor's relationship throughout the whole game is a sight to behold. And that leads me to Achilles' death, which is the second to last homestead mission. Is, in my opinion, beautiful and heartfelt. I bought it. I bought Connor's reaction, and it definitely felt like you lost someone very close to you, and I think that was beautifully well done uh, for that mission in particular. Overall, Assassin's Creed 3 is a phenomenal game. It is a great game, and it's a great Assassin's game that really feels like it earns its place in this franchise. The things I didn't get to that I also want to mention before this video ends. I loved the respect and appreciation towards the Mohawk language that was used for Connor and his tribe. As a Native person, I know a very white passing one. It is really cool to see a Native American as the main character of this gaming franchise in this particular game. Also, the modern section I think is really well done, and it to me proves a modern Assassin's Creed game can work if it is time and energy is put into it. But overall, I love this game. I'm not sure where it's going to rank when I'm done with the series, but we will see when I get to that. Let me know what you thought of Assassin's Creed 3 in the comments below.